We're building a whole relationship here. We're building it with Norman. We're building it with Harry. So far, everything's going good. We have that lingering thought in our head that Norman may turn into a Green Goblin. We have the notion that everything's cool in Harry's life. The only thing he's missing is friends. Could this all go to shit?
It very well
We've
could.
seen we've seen iterations where it goes to shit for Harry and it goes to shit for Norman. So the question is that what we're building towards? Because I hope not, because I'm enjoying their friendship.
Zamate in the chat was saying earlier that potentially, what if Norman dies and then Harry becomes some goblin-esque character? Because maybe Norman in this universe is actually genuine. Maybe he is like not a terrible person, but because he's such a good person, if he dies and Harry sees that, and for whatever reason he blames Spider-Man, like, you're a fraud, Spider-Man. If he does that, I mean, I don't know.
That would definitely change things. And that'd be an interesting way to take it too. Because again, I think the biggest kind of thing about this whole what if scenario is they could really go any route with this. They could kill off Norman. From what we know about Norman's death, that could shake their whole little world. Because from what we see, Norman's friends with Steve Rogers. Norman knows the Avengers to some degree. His death could shake this whole universe.
Right.
If Harry dares want revenge, he knows Peter. He knows who he is.
Yeah. He knows where he lives. He knows where he goes to school.
He knows where he goes at 7 p.m. on a Friday night.
Right. Oh, Nico.
Yes.
Nico.
Oh.
Is this a thing? Like, Nico is, I get what she's saying and I get what she's trying to do regarding like reminding Peter, like, hey, Peter, don't forget who you are. But I don't know, like, she's kind of getting annoying a little bit.
Oh no. Oh no.
I don't know. I don't like. Okay. I saw them as just friends.
They are.
In Harry coming to the movie theater in this instance, she almost seemed disappointed that Harry is here too. And in my head,
she was.
And in my head, I'm questioning, okay, why are you upset though? Like, did you view this as a date?
No.
What does she view it as?
Nico, I'm pretty sure is gay.
That's what I thought. I thought she was. So
she's into Pearl.
Okay, I caught that. I caught that from last week. So in me trying to rationalize, like, why are you upset? Like genuinely, like, what is getting under your skin about Peter making other friends besides you, and seems like a nice guy? She didn't even shake the guy's hand.
Oh no, that was kind of awkward.
It was awkward.
Like, I'll go inside and get popcorn.
And he took that on the chin. I thought he would have been like, okay, bitch. Like, I think any other person would have done that in that scenario. Like, who the hell are you? Right. But he didn't do that. And so I'm trying to think, like, okay, the only way this makes sense is if Nico's into Peter, because maybe she viewed this as a date, and he's like, what? She's like, why did you invite him? Why did you invite him? I thought it was just gonna be me and you. Just me and you. What's going on here? Help me understand Nico, because
I'm pretty sure Nico's gay, so I think we can rule out
any love interest.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing, if we're looking back at last week, Peter and her were supposed to go to Midtown. So when Midtown closed or whatever, they've been in it together since that moment, right?
Right.
From there, they go to whatever school they're at. They're the nerds. They're not the popular kids, but their life seems fine. They hang out, play games, whatever. Lonnie takes an interest in Peter and, starts hanging around Lonnie. and all them. I think the first time I really noticed where it was kind of bothering Nico was when Peter didn't show up to the party. Because Peter didn't stay for the game because he had to go to Oscorp, leaving Nico. Nico said she was fine, but I don't think that's necessarily true. Peter didn't show up to the party where, oh, Nico and Peter are invited to a popular jock party? Are we cool now? They didn't get to share that moment together. And now Peter's getting rides from Harry Osborn, who's apparently the coolest dude on social media in their world. So I think it's jealousy. I think she misses Peter. And I think she sees that Peter is changing. Mind you, he's not really changing, because what's wrong with, introducing new friends to your circle? I think that's fine. Peter has not done anything outright like he's a whole different person. It's not like when Timmy Turner wished he was popular and stopped hanging out with Chester and AJ.
Nostalgia
like that.
references.
Correct. It's not like that. It's not like Nick Cannon in Love Don't Cost a Thing, where he pretended his friends never existed again after he got with Paris Morgan. It's not that. Peter has not done any of that. So I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where it's going to lead, but it is an interesting dynamic. We've seen this before. We've seen Peter get caught up in the life of Spider-Man and all that, and thus shirk and neglect his friends. We've seen that. I'm sure it's a similar route. But as far as Nico as a character, I don't know where her character might do with this. She's a runaway from the short-lived Hulu show.
Right. Consume all Marvel products. We get it.
She might get her magical powers. Maybe she wants to seek revenge against Peter after
you invited Harry to our movie date. I hate you.
Yeah,
Dumb.
maybe.
Dumb.
I don't. You like Pearl. I like Pearl too, but Pearl's not gay. I hate you.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
Right. I don't know where they're going. I think, last week we talked about what kind of show is this. Obviously, we're calling Lonnie our doutragonist, but do we need some check-in with Nico? We got a little bit. She's part of a foster family. I didn't know that before. I don't know if that's comic accurate either, but now we know that.
Also, something minor, probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. She was laying on her bed with her shoes on at the head of the bed. That's kind of nasty. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I want her gone. I want her gone. I want her gone.
That was it, huh? That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
That was it. The way she's treating Peter, the way she didn't shake Harry's hand, and that bit right there where she had her damn dirty shoes on after walking through New York, mind you. Walking through New York, of all places, and putting those nasty ass shoes on her goddamn bed. Disgusting. Sign her up. Pack her away. Pack her away.
Wow. All right. This is maybe some might call it drastic, but okay. Okay. We'll see. I think we need more to really understand where she's coming from. I'm sure her and Peter are going to have a shouting match at one point. But as it stands right now, I would say that might be maybe my biggest critique of these
shoes
3 episodes. No, not the shoes, just Nico in general. We need more from her. You got to see where this leads and what's really going on. Talking about people opening up, she's not really saying, I think, what she needs to say to Peter right now.
I love you.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just, Peter, I'm alone. I'm lonely. You were my friend. I can't be friends with Harry. Look at him.
What? What about Harry?
He's got a man bun.
Oh, okay. Good save. Is that what she was saying? Peter's like,
I don't know.
What's wrong with Harry? What are you trying to say, Nico?
I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do with Nico, but sure.
I'm not buying it.
I don't know. I just don't know. Now the only other thing we really need to talk about kind of is this moving thread as far as we got some villainy going on here. They're actually tying it back to the fire dude from the episode 2.
Oh,
Someone is supplying criminals with high-tech gear. We saw with the couple.
The couple.
My mother was right about you.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but they got the super speed and the blades. The unicorn.
I'm waiting for a Shocker-esque character to appear.
I'm sure they're coming. These are low tier.
This sounds like an opportunity for Shocker.
It could be an opportunity for God, please go watch Spectacular.
I don't want to.
This is actually now that you mention it, this is like literally what they did in Spectacular.
But I saw it here first, so now this show is better.
Oh, we'll see how they finish it. We learned who is supplying them. This was new. I didn't see this coming. But who could it be? Who's a big bad Spider-Man scientist villain that's not Norman Osborn or the Chameleon? Is anybody else a scientist?
Butterfingers.
What the hell? Yeah, yes. Wow, Butterfingers.
What?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
I was about to say, if you didn't catch that.
I got it. Doc Ock is here. Ooh. What's he doing here?
There's too many Marvel characters, therefore it is bad.
No, this is a Spidey character.
Too many. Nope, doesn't matter. We're only 5 episodes in. Too many. No. Your words.
No. It was about the Marvel characters, not the Spidey characters. Doc Ock is here. I like Doc Ock. What's he doing here? Why is he supplying these people with this stuff?
And not only that, Norman. What's his relationship to Norman?
Oh, so you caught that.
I did catch that. I caught the little when Peter fought the couple and he zoomed in on the gear and Norman saw the logo on the symbol. He's like, like that's it. Just a brief little thing.
Oh, so was that like OO? Is that what that was?
That OO symbol? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was on the gear and Norman saw it. He didn't do anything like outright obvious, but the camera panned to him and he was looking at it as if he was thinking about like, and then of course the first thing you see when Otto gets introduced is him panning around and you see the logo on his chest or his belt, wherever it was. So that's where I'm like, oh, okay. So that's his gear. That's the Otto Octavius brand, I guess. Does he have a company in the comics or something?
I don't know. I'm sure in some iterations, I'm sure he probably does, or he's probably just a scientist for hire, scientist gone rogue. But there was a dialogue moment too. He said, "My name should be regarded like Stark and Banner and Osborn."
I saw that and I thought not originally. I thought maybe he could have just said those names because those are like the billionaires in that universe, like these rich geniuses.
He held Osborn too long.
Oh, he enunciated Osborn longer.
He enunciated Osborn.
He's sounding a little problematic. I don't know.
Oh, what?
You saying? Why not the other two?
Oh man, it's not that. It can't be that.
What is he trying to say? Tell us how you really feel, Otto.
Look at me, Osborn, and look at you.
Oh God. Oh man.
That's not it. No, I highly doubt that. Ain't no way. That
would be so. Oh my God.
Well, but if that is the case, though, we've seen iterations of Osborn like that. The Osborn.
Be racist?
I'm sorry. The Octavius who wants revenge on Norman Osborn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean the Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2018. Yeah.
Yes. Which is probably the best iteration of the whole
relationship.
Octavius Osborn. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like it. I do like it. Yeah, I mean, we don't know what his goals are outside of his time is coming. Don't worry, Otto, your time is coming. It's coming soon. Soon is not enough. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. You're a nut job. Great. But what are his real goals? What is he trying to do? We don't know that yet.
We don't know. Yep.
So I guess we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. But I like that he's here.
Yes, it's an interesting thread because it's like when is he gonna come out? Are we gonna get the forearms? Are we gonna see him come out the shadows and be like, "It's me supplying these people"?
And is he? That's another question too. Is he Doc Ock right now, or is he just the evil scientist, like doing these things in the background? Like, does he have the arms? Like, you know, is he a super villain right now?
Right, right. He looks like he's just whatchamacallit, just Otto Octavius.
Just Otto Octavius. Right.
And maybe something. Obviously, he's mad. Obviously, he doesn't care who he gives these things to. So I'm sure his descent will continue. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm theorizing here that he's probably gonna supply some other villains that are to come. Because here, I guess the named one, Unicorn, was the one we got really here for episode 5, right? 5?
Episode, right, 5.
Yeah.
It was.
Unicorn was cool. The action's getting better. I'm gonna give him that.
I will give them this. The choreo in the action is getting better, not the animation. The
Correct.
Animation is still ass, but the actual movement of what the characters are doing is a bit more engaging. Like when Spider-Man was fighting the couple, and he was kind of like doing this web thing where he like made like a thread line for them to bounce into each other, and then he webbed them up as they smacked, broke their teeth and bones when they clashed to each other. That was creative. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So the choreo is nice. The animation is still looking. That's the one thing holding this thing back for me. It's the one thing, because so far the story is doing the heavy lifting, and I just need them to step it up for season 2 if they're still cooking season 2 in the oven.
I need fluidity. I need the fluidity.
Keep the 60s art style. Keep the art style, but do something about this animation, because I feel like that's the biggest thing holding it back. Sanji in chat, they came at Tony too hard with the Ultron shade. What?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the other thing we forgot to talk about. I think that's like the one other thing we haven't talked about. Talked about Lonnie, talked about Team Spider-Man, talked about Otto. Let's talk about tie-ins to the greater MCU.
References.
Like it's not about references.
Oh my god.
It's about doing better, because so the Soviet Accords were name dropped here. I guess it was happening real time, right?
It happened fairly recently, because I think Norman broke the news of it occurring to Peter. And he's like, yeah, you know, they fought in, what was it, Germany?
Yeah, Germany. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it wasn't live, but it happened within like a few days. It happened within a few days. So
that's cool. Well, okay.
Familiarity. Okay. It's a what if episode.
No. It's like this. The Sokovia Accords in film are more or less dropped, if we're being honest. After Civil War, they never really said how it dictates Spider-Man's life and what he's allowed to do and what he can do, right? Because he was there. You know, he was in that incident. He was in that fight.
Right.
Never really did anything with it. And then what? I guess the next thing would be Infinity War, which of course they mentioned the Accords to Rhodey, and Rhodey's like, nah, bump that. Cap, we need Cap. Tony's in space. We need Cap. So bump the Accords. And then probably not until after Endgame does it become a thing again or brought up, I think. But everybody's just running around doing their own thing again. The Sokovia Accords were a waste of space. It only served Civil War. It didn't serve anybody else. I think it might have mentioned it in Miss Marvel, maybe. But the fact that it was not this looming kind of cloud over these characters, I think is a really missed opportunity in storytelling.
I think once the blip happened, they said, listen, screw that nonsense. We're not doing this. We're not doing this crap anymore with the Sokovia Accords. Maybe that's a headcanon, but I feel like when you have an earth-shattering event like that, that just flips your entire civilization on its head, I think all your prior policies and government, agendas are now like down the drain. They're like, okay, maybe we need to reassess this. Maybe this is not the way to go.
Pause. All right, this man just snapped away half the universe. They probably could have stopped it if we didn't make them sign that goddamn paper.
There you have it. That's my headcanon.
That's a fair headcanon. What I want this show to do now, I mean, they made it a point to name it. They addressed it. They made little jokes. Like Nico was like, Peter, I thought you would be Team Cap. Although I kind of see both sides, you know. I wonder if this, and Norman also made, yes, to what Sanji was saying earlier, they did come at Tony really hard about Ultron. I kind of want that cloud that they never used in films. I kind of want it to hang over here.
Right.
I think you have a much more interesting show with Norman at, following up to what he said. I want to introduce the next generation of heroes.
See, and that I feel like there's the villainy a little bit.
He said heroes.
I don't know. You don't say it in that tone. That's where I'm like, oh, there it is. He's coming out a little bit. I don't know. And maybe that's the whole internship thing.
Maybe. Maybe.
We'll see.
I hope it is not, because again, you got a multiverse. You have a what if scenario. And honestly, I think this is an opportunity for them to do something that the films have not done. And by that matter, no other Spider-Man series. So if they could do something to that, I'm game. And I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, they could go in an interesting direction. I do like that there's a greater Marvel world that's going on outside of the main story of Spider-Man. So you have like the Sokovia Accords, you have Civil War, you have Captain America running around. But then here, for the purposes of this story, you're just dealing with the Spider-Man characters. So like your Doc Ock, your Scorpion, your Tombstone, your Norman Osborn. But it's nice to know there's a greater Marvel verse out there. It's literally just the MCU, but those characters exist and they're running around doing their own thing. And it makes me wonder if it's 1-to-1 like the MCU, are we going to get a season of Spider-Man where the blip happens? Is Thanos going to come and snap right? Is that going to happen? I feel like technically that's only about 2 years out from this show. Yeah, because so far everything's 1-to-1. They had the New York battle with the Avengers. They even said that was when they first assembled. The New York battle. Civil War happened. The Avengers Age of Ultron happened. At this point, I think everything else is locked in for the MCU. So I feel like Infinity War is coming up in this timeline. Obviously not to the same degree, because I doubt this version of Spider-Man will participate in that. Right. But it'll be interesting to see how far they go with it. And here I was saying, maybe I didn't want the greater Marvel. Am I taking it back? Does it seem forced? I don't know. For me, the greater Marvel, for me, I think it would have been better if they did not do the MCU greater Marvel verse. I would have preferred this is just the Marvel, this story's version of the Marvel characters. So maybe Civil War is happening at this time, but it's with the Civil War from the comics, like the full on, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Not the
the
movies.
Registration Act.
The Registration Act. So what I'm trying to say is the greater Marvel verse that's going on in this show is just the MCU that we know it from the movies. I think it would have been better if it wasn't the MCU. If it was just these Marvel characters are running around doing their thing. So if they want to have Civil War here, great, have Civil War. It does not need to take place in Germany. It could have the X-Men in it because the X-Men did fight in Civil War, the comic books.
They did. Yeah.
So you could have all those moving pieces. That's just me though. If they're doing MCU, to me it kind of limits them because now you're on that timeline of within 2 years, Infinity War has to happen. I don't know.
These are good points. No. That is a good point. I think the smart thing for them to do, pick and choose what they want to do from the MCU, and then pick and choose what they want to do with their own comic book tie-ins or origins or adaptations. I think that'd be the better idea. Whether they do that, we'll see. We got 2 more batches. We got 1 full 3-episode batch, and then the 2-episode finale.
6, 7, 8, and then 9 and 10.
9 and 10. Next week, we should be getting some interesting characters that I'm sure some people will be happy to see. When I was a boy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's next week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Correct. The fact that this is coming, I don't know what this means for the rest of the story, the moving threads that we currently have. Lonnie, Peter, and the Osborns, and then Octavius. I don't know what that means, but they're coming. They're coming.
Sanji in chat wants to know how we feel about the batch releases. I actually prefer it because I feel like I would have dropped this if this was just a weekly series. Because I'm thinking back to what I thought on episode 1. I wasn't a fan. 1 week later, episode 2, still not a fan. And then by the third week, most people would have just dropped it. I would have dropped it. I would have been like, you know what? 2 weeks, we're 3 weeks in. This show's not winning me over. It's not. But I feel like you have a lot of moving pieces when you have this happening together with more than 1 episode being dropped in 1 week. It's different, for sure. And it's probably experimental that they're trying this with this series. I like it. I like it.
I'm going to say I like it as well. I think they actually learned a lot from, especially, I guess, their animation release window to, well, actually, it depends. This is a very serial show, not episodic. This show flows to be binged. The way episode 3, whichever one where Harry learned Peter's Spider-Man, which was probably 4.
I think it was 4. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's like a couple of days that have gone by since he has learned. This is a binge show. It flows like a binge show. I don't think it's meant to be watched with all these weeks between each episode. I think it works in its favor to do batches. As Dr. J said, yeah, if episodes aren't going to hit, they're going to drop it. And there's only so many cliffhangers you could do to keep people hanging on. So I'm fine with the batches. I think this is a smart way of going about it. If the show was more episodic, I think it would have been fine to do weekly. But ultimately, viewership for these animated projects, I don't think are high for Marvel. So Spider-Man being one of their heavy hitters, I think it's smart of them to just give them all. And obviously, again, I said this before, we're probably going to get season 2 a lot sooner than some of these other shows. I'm sure they just cut the production in half of season 1. I'm sure season 1 is actually probably 20 episodes, and those next 10 are probably ready to go, which is why they got the green light so quickly. I don't think that was quick. I think that was planned. That's my theory. If season 2 drops next year, they definitely did these productions back to back, or in just one batch, and they just split it. So yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, honestly, I'm fine. Get me to Brave New World, and then get me to Daredevil Born Again. I don't need Spider-Man after that. Okay? I love him, but I don't need him.
Yeah, just get me to Daredevil Born Again. I'm fine.
You bastard. Whatever. But goodness, I think that covers the second batch of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, right? We got everything.
We got everything. Definitely better than the first batch. To the point where you guys heard me last week. If you tuned in last week, I was not in it for this series at all. Outside of the one interesting thread of, whoa, Norman knows Peter's identity as Spider-Man. Then beyond that, I feel like episode 3, 4, and 5 really flesh out what to expect from the show. So now, going into episodes 6, 7, 8, I'm now a bit more excited to be like, okay, what's going to happen with Lonnie next? What's his big deal? What about Norman? When are the cracks going to start showing? When are they going to start showing in his psyche? I need it. Finish it. I need it. So I'm interested. It has me. It could crash and burn by the end, but right now it has me.
The stories is what gonna do it. The story is what is going to do it. So, folks, yeah, we got them lingering threads. The fall of Lonnie, the rise of Team Spidey, and the mystery of Dr. Octavius. We'll see what happens come next week. When next batch, we got 3 more episodes. And again, we got the 2-episode finale the week after that. Folks, also don't forget, we got Captain America, Brave New World. That's coming out next week. We'll be here for that. But listen, for folks tuning in to the Dr. Jace Attorney channel, shout out to Sanji. Shout out to the rest of the folks who were in the chat earlier. Love to see y'all again. And for those listening at home, we appreciate you listening on your various podcast stations, Spotify, Apple Music, Podcasts, whatever, all that jazz. Google Podcasts. Appreciate that. And of course, all the love y'all show us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever else. We appreciate all the love, folks. Go check out some of the stuff. We'll be posting some of this stuff later on, clips of this episode and whatever else we got going on. We got some funny stuff coming your way if you want to go check it out. But that's it for me, Dr. Jace. You can close this thing out.
How am I closing this out? You already closed it out.
Do the rap. Do the rap. Do the theme song rap. Oh, here we go.
Here we go again. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I think I'm going to try to learn it by next week.
Great. Awkward silence.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. That's all I got.
The line. I fail to see the part where that's my problem.
He ain't gonna say that.
No, someone said it. Someone said it this episode. Oh my God! They literally.
Big Don said it. Big Don.
There we go. I'm like, oh, look, they did it. They did it.
Wow. You think that was intentional?
You don't say it exactly like that without it being intentional.
Wow, that went over my head. Yep.
He said it. So I'm just saying it. What's his name? Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin references. I think it's fair game. I think it's fair game.
Is it a 10 now just for that line?
No, because I need Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin. Out, am I? Oh my God, can you imagine? Okay, hold on. Before we close this out, can you imagine Team Spider-Man is Harry and Peter, right? And they mesh well together. They're like besties in it. Norman tries to get back into it after his investors meetings, and he's like, Harry, you're not letting me participate in Team Spider-Man anymore. And Peter and Harry come up to him and they're like, Mr. Osborn, listen, I think Harry and we work better as a team together. We don't need you anymore. Psyche starts to break a little bit like this, right? And he's like, out, am I? And he throws a pumpkin bomb at them. I'm calling it now. That's the fall from grace. They oust him from Team Spider-Man. You can't do this to me. I started Team Spider-Man. You know how much I sacrificed? Oh, I got it. There it is.
Folks, if you think Dr. Jace got it, please sound off. Okay. Goodness, I guess.
Well,
all right. We swinging out of here. Y'all take care, chat. Take care, folks at home. Thwip, Spider-Man.